All right, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. We call it midweek, and all my people in the studio are touching. They have correspondence with Edo State recommendation of must wearing an APC cap. If not, you will come into my studio.
But this one does not qualify. You need to put that 8 symbol.
Okay, that 8
inverted.
The one that is calling it 8.
That is rotated 90 degree rotated 8.
All right. Good morning, guys.
Yeah.
I have Peter and I have Malam Okafor. The Peter without the OB. You're welcome, guys.
Welcome.
All right. Most of the time, we measure on the minors, and I wonder why people always measure on the minors. The responsibility of the National Assembly is for them to make laws and also be able to open to the people. We've never heard from any security agency that there's a scare at the National Assembly. It's one of the most guided places in the country.
After Aso
Rock. Yeah. Now, you know, there's a 3-arm zone.
Yeah.
And that 3-arm zone, in fact, you can almost go there if you don't have an invitation. You cannot access the whole place, or you cannot even access the building. But a particular honorable member came out and said, there's been a bomb scare, people are harassing us. If you don't want to serve the people, why are you going that way?
Yeah, let me start with the fact that, just like you have said, is National Assembly that I know is why it is open to the public. There are checks by the gates. When you get it towards the left, there is a place you go for checks. They will ask you which office are you going to. If your name has not been brought from the inside the complex to the gate that you are visiting that day, they are not going to give you a gate pass. The other people that could just pass are those that work there, either as legislative aid, permanent,
with
or
an identity card.
With an identity card of different classes. Do you understand? Which is normally, there's a way they say, they will ask you, do you have something from the White House? Because White House is the section where those ID cards are generated for those that work there and things like that. So it is not a place that is open to the public without checks as to the identity of those that would be going in. So I don't know the need for that. But let's talk about insecurity in general.
Yes.
Insecurity in the country as it is more than sufficient to have triggered this same Honorable Garba to want to talk about additional measure to curb insecurity across Nigeria. Now, for the purported bomb scare that only him had knowledge of, which nobody told us, and he has the knowledge of, he think a special directorate should be, Security Directorate should be started up again.
Within the
National Assembly should be created within the National Assembly to provide additional security to the people who are most secured even in Nigeria today. You know, just like you said, measuring on minor. Why would we want the National Assembly to continue to be secured? Because presently it's been secured by the police, it's been secured by the DSS, there's military, they have their own armament for if there's
let me remind you, there is no House of Assembly member that doesn't have police security.
In one way or the other.
At least one police.
So now, the people that are most secured, he is so triggered to create a separate directorate within the National Assembly for that purpose, even as secured as it is now. Even going further to want to separate the people they are serving from those serving them. But he wasn't triggered by this security ravaging the entire nation. You know, I think what they have in National Assembly today is perfect. If they continue to implement that, you don't just jump in. If you say it's a lie, just try to visit them without any ID card, without having somebody you had planned to visit. You are not going to get in, except there is no plenary going on. Maybe they are on recess, you know, those security tend to relax. But as it is now, those guys, those security personnel are doing a very, very sweet job. This is also a way of being unappreciative to those who are doing the work. I can tell you that those guys are doing good job.
Okay, Peter, Honorable Garba definitely comes from one of the northern states. He's a representative, and as secured or as volatile as his area may be, I don't know if it goes to his constituency. I don't know. Definitely, he goes for campaigns. He meets with the people. He has not advocated for more security. Okafor, we were watching the TV the other day, and we saw bandits carrying guns freely. I mean, in their wholesome number in Katsina City. Yeah. These people go and campaign those places. They've not advocated for more of the security checks. Now, just only this National Assembly, it says the people are suffocating them. Is it about them or about the people?
Well, for me, you just spoke like our political class. They are all self-serving. It's not about them first and the rest of the people. He's raising the issue because he feels as a threat to the National Assembly, not threat to Nigerians. He's more concerned that if it happens, they won't have the oversight function over the executive. But Nigerians die every day. People in his constituency are being kidnapped every day. He has not raised the issue. So, Wike gave a lecture some few days ago, yes, where it was, we need leaders, not rulers. What have Nigeria as rulers? A ruler cares about himself, know what your subjects are going through, know what those that elected you are going through. On daily basis, communities are being written by bandits who are coming to attack you. And the so-called National Assembly have done nothing. Now, because a small letter or threat to them that is almost impossible, how are they going to beat through those checks? A bulb is not like a spoon that you carry and pass. There are methods that detect these things. So, since they are so concerned about that, they should be concerned about Nigerians' plight. Nigerians are kidnapped every day on the road traveling, going about the legitimate business. What have they done about that? They keep mute. People die every day. To them is a number. They read that numbers here. After all, during Buhari time, 20,000 people die. During our own time, it's only 5,000. They are lives. So now he's come to their doorstep now. They are raising an alarm. They are jumping from pillar to post. Nigeria lives matter. See, I understand what he's saying, that there's a threat. Yes, we receive threats every day. Every other day, Nigeria receive threat. We receive threat of no food in our houses. We receive threat of exorbitant transport costs. We receive threat of
on a daily basis.
So he should must not take up his own.
Okay. This man mentioned about, first of all, he mentioned that their constituents come to harass them.
Which is, he is from Kano.
Yes.
He represents a Wale constituency in Kano. Okay. I don't know who comes from Kano to harass him. And what does he call harassment? He also, probably we're going to take time out to investigate the functionality of his constituency office in Kano. Because
how much he visits there.
Yes, how long he was also a farmer before becoming a House of Rep member.
Okay.
We also want to know how often he visits his farm or goes to his farm, during breaks and all that. You see, when you begin to see people trying to put up reasons to build, because we want lean government, we want smaller government, higher private sector. By the time you begin to create all this institution upon all institution, if you receive a bomb scare, you have a security there.
Yeah.
They address it. They suddenly raise the alert level.
Yeah.
You have police, you have DSS, you have a military, you have all the likes there. National Assembly is just a stone throw from Aso Rock, which is another stone throw.
It's a walkable distance.
Yes.
That's why they call it the 3-arm zone.
3-arm zone. It's well secured.
Okay, he also says that they receive threats from protesters. The first place people take their grievances to is to their representatives.
Let me tell you, see, this is not to divert this. Yesterday, when we were discussing about the purported fake coup, the government says it's fake.
Okay.
We were saying that the people operating the constitution themselves, the people operating the constitution should not themselves first suspend the constitution,
because that's what we have seen.
When you suspend the constitution, you make it attractive for the military to come and help you
suspend the constitution.
Peaceful protest is part of observance of the constitutional rights of the people. You, as a serving member, police officer, or whoever, should not suspend the constitutional right of the people. When you continue to suspend the constitutional right of the people, you make it attractive. The people do not see the difference being in democracy. What are we benefiting in democracy if I cannot protest? then let the military come. That's the question. Even as we said that nobody wants the military, we do not want them, we don't want to see them. Why do we not want to see them? Because we want to observe those that are constitutional rights.
Because they too, they have their own constitutional duties.
Yeah, that is why he is elected into that house.
Yeah.
Honorable Garba should know that his people will continue to protest. It's not going to stop today. It's not going to stop as far as we have democracy.
And they must reach him in his office.
They will reach him. If they don't have access to him in his constituency, they will come to National Assembly.
Peter, there's something that we have failed to know. Okafor mentioned it. He said, if the constitutional right of the people is not guaranteed, we don't need the legislative arm. These things, do they know them? If not, if they know them, why don't they follow what's in the Constitution?
First, let's look at it from the basis. Most of them, were they actually elected, or they were picked, or the system threw them up? So if you were actually elected by your people, your people's plight should be a responsibility. You should care about them. If you are certain that I was elected by these people, you won't say they are bothering you. You won't say they're threatening you by your visit. No. Your voice there. So if there's anything wrong within the constituency, they reach out to you. So that is the major issue problem we have in Nigeria. Or to quote our electoral system, where people come in by our votes. These people talking about that. I won't be surprised if they come in with their vote. If I can buy my way through, why would I listen to them? They didn't bring me to office. So it's a whole lot we need to look at. So the system that produces these people need to be checked. If the system is right, they will respect the electorate. Because in the next 4 years, you still come back for my vote. But you know you can do it without me. So you don't care. You should see my visit to you as a threat. You should see my coming to you to report the issues in my constituency as disturbance. Because I did not bring you there. So that is why most of them.
That's why you can't balance.
There is disconnect between them and the constituents.
Okay, for lastly, let me take you on this one.
Yeah.
The reason for 3 times sitting in a week, sometime 2, or sometime a long absence from the National Assembly,
long recess
period, is so that they can go to their either senatorial district or go to their constituent to be able to mingle with the people. In fact, the idea is for them not to have a house in Abuja.
Yeah.
They will stay in hotels, then they will go back to their constituency to make sure they bring government, the federal government, closer to the people. But that's not what we see. After election, most of them cut off their constituency until election is coming again. Maybe we should have a program where we begin to educate most of this legislative arm of government.
For somebody that is intimidated by the presence of his people, is not treating his people well.
Yes.
If I work in an office and the people I represent are coming, I'm going to feel honored. I'm going to feel that they are coming to celebrate me. I will come out to greet them. And so you people are welcome. Oh, I'm going to be happy to be the first chosen to represent them at that capacity. You are like their voice. And that is why we kept saying that these representatives do not understand that even the vote they cast in those houses, when it is of a permanent nature, issues that borders on the people, not issues about just their internal dealings, their vote should be the prerogative of the people they represent. You should take recourse to your people and know how they want you to cast their vote, not even how your party in some cases want you to cast your vote. But this time they sell all their vote. Once any bill is coming, all the members know how much they are going to be settled for that bill to go through. Just about any bill coming, provided there is a full force of the executive coming, they know how it's going to go. He was talking about that if there is an insecurity, we can't do budget, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do the plenary. With this security you have across Nigerians, are Nigerians traveling safely? Are they going to farm safely? Are they doing their businesses safely? How, even the security apparatus you have in other places, what about personnel that we are losing every day? Our officers are being lost every day. Do you know how many military personnel we have lost to this insecurity? Do you know? Is it when army dies, it's not somebody's life? That army man you are seeing, somebody's husband, somebody's son, somebody's father, somebody's uncle, somebody's wife, somebody's uncle, somebody's only son in some cases. So those people are not important to this man. He's talking about the people who are just about the most protected. And that's your problem. You want to create something else? Does he listen to himself?
All right. Like I said, maybe we'll have to take more of this round, because sometimes we think everybody know their duty and their roles in what they are supposed to do. Maybe we overrate them and think they don't know. Maybe we'll have some educative programs where they too can be educated. National Assembly Commission is there. We don't know how much they do, whether it's only for recruitment and to make sure their salaries are settled. But we'll keep on being on these things and make sure that our democracy strive. It's Landslide News. We'll be right back.